What is up, blockchain gang? This is the Daniel Draghi Show, where we will be taking a look at MIR2M, the warrior. I'm not going to say that this game isn't designed well or that it isn't fun to play. I just wish some things were not ruined by bugs, translation issues, or scummy monetization practices. I honestly can't say which complaints fall into which category, so I'm just going to point them out for you, like my nipples when I see shiny loot drop, and you can decide if these are issues that could and should be fixed, or simply intelligent design contrived to rip off players and trick them into spending more money than they planned at every stage of the game. Even if you don't intend on playing this game, the video could be helpful to you to spot red flags in future titles. So let's get to work. Or don't you know?
That's the sound of the man working on the chain. Gang. That's the sound of the man working on the chain. Gang.
One thing I do when playing games as a budding game designer is constantly ask myself questions, such as why in the fuck did they just do that to me? Or who is this even designed for? So I can adjust my criticisms accordingly. Sometimes at the surface level, design concepts can seem crude or even bad, but as you dive deeper into the game, you may discover it is actually brilliant, and you couldn't imagine it any other way. I have developed a love-hate relationship with this play-to-earn Diablo simulator. I could say at least a dozen things I love about the design choices, but each one comes with a complimentary elephant that eats all of your food and shits all over the room. I will add one more disclaimer. When I started reviewing this game, I was under the impression it was a mobile-only title. That is, not cross-platform and no PC or emulator support. This is an important distinction because if you only have a mobile phone, it is really unfair to be forced to compete with PC players who have much better control schemes and many more options in free, full-length games to choose from. What this means is that I may be giving the game more credit than it is due because of these misconceived limitations, so I just wanted to acknowledge that bias up front. We should start our story where every great adventure begins, at the opening cutscene. That's it. That's all the story you are getting. No character building, world building, backstory, or motivation other than get good, get swole, and pwn noobs, or demons if you're a Care Bear. They don't even waste your time with slay missions and fetch quests to teach you about the mechanics of the game. No, it's just one monster, one quest, one level, one dialogue box, one trip. Repeat until 5 minutes have passed and you are level 150. Once you get past the tapping simulator portion of the game, you can finally begin and equip your obligatory temporary free player costumes so that you look like a clone of every other new player in the game. Classes? No. You would need to be the main character of a story in order to make choices like that. This is MIR2M the Warrior, not MIR2M Burger King, where you can have it your way. So allow me to introduce the warrior, protagonist, and hero of the game, your guard. Unlike you, this guy does change classes and is probably watching cutscenes and saving princesses out the ass while you take all the loot from slaying demons so you can afford to pay him to protect you. This Giga Chad does 10 times as much damage as you do and has 100 times as much health. He also paralyzes your targets so they can't even fight back, and this is the guy your girlfriend told you not to worry about. During some events, your guard leaves you because, I don't know, he's off saving the world or something, and you're left to flick boogers and slay demons by striking them repeatedly with your wet noodle until they die of laughter, reminding you what a weak, sorry sack of shit you are each time. You only thought you were getting strong and powerful when you saw a single set of footprints in the sand, when really it was this beefy boy carrying you the whole time. Speaking of boys, you will need a metric shit ton of young boys, which is this game's official trash currency, in order to feed this chunker, but I don't know what it is that he is eating because it is slowly mutating him into man, bear, pig. Do you like events? I hope you like events, because this is just one event after the other, as if we're all standing around getting shit drops in an AFK Diablo clone until somebody finally presses A to roll the dice and let the next round of Mario Party begin. While these events will be rewarding to the top participants, it makes the progression you make between them feel insignificant. There is a handy metric when you can spend young boys or premium currency to recoup the rewards from events you miss, so the game doesn't hold you hostage, forcing you to be online 24/7. You can also significantly increase the rewards of most events by using premium currency. We will talk more about that later. In addition to an AFK mode where you control which drops your character picks up for inventory management, there is a free offline mode that allows you to gain resources and practice your skills for up to 8 hours at a time, which can be extended to 12 hours with the premium membership. Speaking of subscriptions, this game has at least 9 9 monthly or weekly subscriptions that I have counted for a Disney Plus bundle price of $118 per month. These timed events are based on server time, while many other world bosses have a respawn timer and guild events that take place on demand. There are also multiple cross-server events as well. Now in this game there are not many monsters, so most of the time you'll be fighting bosses. These bosses don't really have any mechanics, it is just going to stand there so your guard can beat the shit out of them so you can run those jewels. While this might not look fun, I have come up with ways to maximize my efficiency with AFK drop settings, grouping multiple bosses together, and rerouting the auto path to loot more treasure than my allies, and this is fun because of science and dopamine. There is a constant spam about major drops from other players obfuscating your view of the battlefield or UI menus, but only seems to happen when you're trying to read something really important, such as the rules of a timed event. Septeria or golden dragon eggs are the real currency of this game. 100 Septeria can be made into a token, along with 500 diamonds and 10 million young boys. I wanted to see how this mandatory premium currency cost would affect the ability of bots to ruin the economy. You can also earn diamonds from the auction house by selling drops. This Septeria is required for all mid to end game progression and comes in both bound and unbound form. Only the unbound can be used to mint tokens. One problem I see is that every single player seems to get at least one of these Septeria drops, often early in the game, such as in the first or second area fighting the lowest level bosses. I know this because it tells me each time one is dropped. However, I've not gotten a single one since the beginning of the game, so it seems like the devs make one drop early to have the players believe the currency is easy to obtain. This is very devious as the majority of the drops are actually Septeria fragments, and it takes 100 fragments and 1 million young boys to do what all of the king's horses and all of the king's men couldn't and put the egg back together again. Why in the fuck would you use horses to try to put an egg back together anyway? I wouldn't let a horse anywhere near my eggs. In other words, they are making you believe it's very easy with that early game drop when it is really 10,000 times harder than that to do. Also consider that half of them are bound and can only be used for progression, and the road to earning is much rougher than you may believe after your first few days of playing. Since we are fighting bosses with really large health pools, I like the idea of a one-hit kill chance to increase my clear speed. However, what this really means is that some unknown percentage of the time, you will do an attack for a percent of the boss's total health in order to help you get a lucky last hit. In practice, this isn't very helpful at this stage and would take many hundreds of millions of young boys and hundreds of Septeria to become noticeable. It also bugs me that the bonus isn't on even numbers like level 10, 20, or 30, but instead on 11, 21, and 31. Maybe it's just my OCD though. So I wanted to point out a thing that devs do to trick players. They know that when players are looking at the shop to choose an item to buy, they are looking for the best power advantage their budget can afford. They know that their power gained is only going to be relative to everyone else's power in the server. So if it looks like they can gain a huge portion of the total available power for a small amount of money, they will be more inclined to spend that money, especially if they fear that everyone else will since it is such a good deal. Then to my horror, after I purchased the cheapest package, a hidden package behind it is revealed that is even more powerful for even more money. The deception used here is that the devs disguise the total amount of purchasable power, meaning that the portion you were purchasing is relatively less valuable than you could have known it would be until you buy the pack. If these step-up deals are advertised openly as such, it is no big deal, but to hide them is the slimmest of shadies. Next, I want to talk about the bugs or payment problems. It has been reported that people are not getting the diamonds they purchased. I've had no trouble using Google Pay, but people who have used a credit card are getting charged and getting nothing. Refunding will probably get your account banned, so your money is at the mercy of mother capitalism, and I have a higher chance of shitting out the soul of this demon before their monetary misery is settled to their satisfaction. I think this goes even deeper, with a bug or intentional design to only confirm the purchase with diamonds most of the time. 90% of the time I'll get a confirmation when I spend diamonds, but allow me to tell you a story about how stupid this game made me feel. The first deceptive douchery was these damn red envelopes and VIP rewards. When you complete a daily event to level up, it says that you gain additional rewards depending on your VIP level. That's a sweet deal. You also get 10 red envelopes a day. In my guild, someone sent a red envelope and I got 127 diamonds. I thought I would be able to send those to my allies each day day, and I wanted some diamonds to refine the tokens. I went ahead and upgraded to VIP for 99 cents and got 1,000 diamonds and some bonus goodies, only to find out that the experience bonus was not awarded to me unless I purchased it with more diamonds. They also only show you the rewards for the next VIP level and not any further, if you remember what I said about hiding purchasing power. Then I go to my guild to send out my red envelopes, and it charges me 1,000 diamonds instead with no confirmation. So long, Mr. George Washington. The red envelopes that I got were different red envelopes. How could I get them confused? I mean, sure, they could have been blue or green or burgundy or even something that isn't a fucking envelope, but that was surely 100% my fault. The red envelopes that I get only give bound diamonds, which are like the diamonds your mother tells you that you have at home. Now, it is important to note that some packages were clearly marked as a purchase, with a button that said something crazy like purchase or activate or the actual price. Other packages were advertised as spend X amount of diamonds for Y and Z, and a button that says collect. Many games will give you bonus packages upon spending certain amounts, so this is a common tactic to entice smaller purchases, like a "but wait, there's more Billy Mays special." However, most of these were deals that you had to spend additional diamonds in order to gain their benefit. That is when I called my secretary, Alexander Hamilton, and persuaded him to remind this game who the boss is. Now at this point, I am sure that my frustration has already led to poor decision making, as I demanded 100 million young boys to serve me. I was delighted to see the combined package only cost $8.99 instead of the whole $10, which is really closer to $8 anyway, right brain? So I collect my goodies for topping up again and go directly to the clearance sale of the young boys, only to find out that my funds were categorized as insufficient. Oh no, have I been hit with the same bugs so many others have complained about online? No, I actually spent all of my diamonds when collecting the rewards I believed I was getting as a bonus because there was no confirmation given before spending all of my diamonds. Once I made the purchase, my screen was covered with so many glittery and gold sparkles that I had to tap them all just so that my eyes could adjust and I could concentrate again. Nobody makes a fool out of Daniel Draghi twice though. That is when Abraham Lincoln entered the chat, so that Daddy Warbucks could pump his guard full of secret ooze from TNMT and shit out more souls than a Protestant wife. This time though, I would record it for video evidence so that I can expose this bullshit with the lowest quality recording in the history of YouTube, because I still thought it was a mobile only game at this point. The joke was on me for a third time though, as I bought the package and there was no top up for fun up rewards. No tappy tappy gold sparkles make me happy, just slappy slappy in the face because your plan was crappy and now they have all of your money, bitch boy. Then there is an event where you can vote to approve or disapprove of leadership each day based upon your VIP level to get a bribe of young boys from either the kingdom's leader or their opposition. What do you think this 5x for all does? I thought I would get 5x rewards for all of my votes for the day, but it's just once. You can also use passes you farmed for a chance to increase it to 5 times. Now, anytime a player does something in a restrictive area with a paywall, the system messages will advertise it to you and ask you to join them. This makes you think somehow the player has granted you permission to be their +1, only to show up for them asking for a cover charge. Timers are also kind of shit in this game, as the best way to program a timer is to always give a few extra seconds at the end to give players a better chance to experience a close call victory. These events always end a few seconds too soon, which can even cost you potential rewards when it comes down to the wire. Even your mother knew this when she would say, "If you don't go to your room by the time I count to 3, no more Nintendo. 1, 2, 2.5. In summary, I know I have been overwhelmingly negative in this video, even though I appreciate the equipment system, variety of events such as the Battle of the Best and biochemical warfare, respect to players' time, auction house, and unique tokenomics. I just can't bring myself to outright praise this game when it is overshadowed by all of the other problems I have experienced. If you were wondering, yes, I plan on spending the final $1 to get the VIP 4, bringing the total to an even 20, because all of the cool kids are in Boss Barbie's Dreamhouse number 2, while I am stuck in number 1 with the poor kids. But I am using my last $1 as leverage to ensure my account doesn't get banned after uploading this video, at which point I will undoubtedly be made to feel inferior again immediately, undoing any sense of pride after the perks provided to level 5 VIPs are revealed. Thank you for watching. That is all I have for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can do this again sometime.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of with everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.